Well, if, like the song goes, if you want to be happy for the rest of your life, should you be a conservative or a liberal? Our next guest says he's got an answer.
His name is Arthur Brooks, a professor and author of Gross National Happiness, Why Happiness Matters for America. Why should we be happy, Arthur? Why does that matter?
Well, people have been trying to be happy forever, but, you know, more to the point for Americans, it's enshrined in the Declaration of Independence that we're given, it's a God-given right that we should be able to pursue happiness. So, you know, whether or not happiness is a good thing every single moment of the day, I'm not so sure, but at least the founders of our nation thought it was important enough to write it in.
Okay, we're going to go through the stats, Arthur, and then we'll figure out how you came up with these numbers. But you say conservatives are twice as likely as liberals to say they're happy, 44 to 25%. Why do you think that is?
Well, there are really two reasons. The first is that the lifestyles typically differ a lot between political conservatives and liberals. Conservatives are about twice as likely as liberals to be married. They're also about twice as likely to take their religion seriously, to practice a faith at least once a week, and those two things are hugely happiness producing. But the other half of this happiness gap between left and right has to do with optimism about your future. You find that conservatives are a lot more likely than liberals to say that they think that hard work and perseverance can overcome disadvantage in their lives. And just being an optimistic person is a big deal.
And so many, if you watch Jon Stewart, you can see how liberals can be somewhat pessimistic and complain about everything. People who give away money, I guess I'm on tonight. By the way, if you give away money, twice as likely to be happy.
Yeah, that's really, giving away money is the only secret to buying happiness. Getting richer through your job, that's great because you'll feel more successful, but the money itself won't buy you happiness. The stats are very clear on this. The one loophole in the money doesn't buy happiness thing you've always heard from your mother and from your preacher is giving it away. If you give away money, you can permanently increase the level of happiness in your life.
You just touched on your preacher. One of your other facts is that Americans who go to church once a week or more are 82% happier than those who do not. So that figures in with what you said in the beginning. If you're married, if you go to church, these are happiness producers.
Absolutely. These are lifestyle things that really figure into the way typically political conservatives live on average. Now, there are lots of political conservatives that don't take this stuff seriously, and a lot of liberals who do, and that actually just flips it over. You find that liberals who have stable families, they go to church and or any house of worship, and if they're optimistic about the future, they're going to be happy just like conservatives.
See, I was stunned by this. You say 90% of Americans like their jobs. 70% say they'd work even if they were financially independent. I thought my crew was the only one happy in their jobs. You're saying it's the entire country?
It's amazing. It's amazing. I thought that I was one of these lucky few who looks forward to getting up and going to work every day. Turns out it's me and just about everybody else. Only 11% of people who are employed say they're not satisfied with their jobs. You find that people are amazingly satisfied. It doesn't matter if you're in the nonprofit sector or the for-profit sector. People are very satisfied. Yeah.
Right. Just happy to have one.
Yep. Good.
Well, I'm happy to have one. And in America, you know, it's unlike in France, for example, you take these statistics and it's much lower. People are less satisfied. But here,
shocking.
You know, there's a lot of choice in the job market. We can find what we like to do.
And plus, that's a tough language to learn.
I did it in high school.
French?
I know very little now. Arthur Brooks has written a book called Gross National Happiness, Why Happiness Matters for America. We thank you, sir, for joining us live from D.C.